Hello guys. If you've followed Asian drama culture long enough, you know that some moments don't just drop, they detonate. And what happened between Zhang Ruonan and Bai Jingting has now crossed that delicate line between on-screen chemistry and real-world emotion. Before we dive into everything, the whispers, the confessions, the moment fans swear they saw sincerity glowing in her eyes, take a second to join our growing family here at New Drama World. If you're someone who lives for unexpected love lines, slow burn tension, Korean and Chinese drama chaos, or simply the thrill of watching two co-stars blur the line between acting and something more, then this is your home. Subscribe now, because stories like this don't wait, and you don't want to be the one catching up when the entire fandom is already screaming. Now, let us talk about her words. Words that fans have been replaying, decoding, analyzing frame by frame, because for the very first time, Zhang Ruonan finally said what no one expected her to admit publicly: she has feelings for Bai Jingting. It started subtly, too subtly, almost as if she wasn't even aware she had already stepped across the invisible boundary between co-star banter and emotional transparency. During a promotional interview, the host casually asked the cast a playful question, the kind people usually laugh off: who is the one you felt closest to during filming? Ruonan smiled, soft, nervous, but glowing with something undeniably warm. And instead of brushing it away like most celebrities trained to protect their private lives, she breathed out a name with a gentleness that felt rehearsed only in her heart: Bai Jingting. But it wasn't the name that sent fans spiraling. It was the silence afterward. A silence where she wasn't rushing to correct herself, wasn't panicking, wasn't giggling to hide embarrassment. She looked down, then back up, and added quietly, "He made me feel safe." For a fandom already primed with months of behind-the-scenes tenderness, his hand guiding her during stunts, her leaning into him during breaks, the way he instinctively shielded her from falling equipment, her confession was gasoline poured directly onto a fire that was already burning. What makes this moment even more intense is the timing. The entertainment industry in both China and South Korea has grown increasingly cautious about co-stars becoming too close, especially after a wave of dating scandals shook multiple agencies. Celebrities today speak with precision bordering on surgical, every word polished, filtered, and trained. So when someone like Zhang Ruonan breaks that pattern, fans know it's real. It's raw. It's unedited emotion. People who were watching the live stream in real time said the comment section completely collapsed, thousands of hearts, screaming emojis. And did she just say that? Messages flooding in so fast that moderators couldn't keep up. On Weibo, Zhang Ruonan feeling safe around Bai Jingting shot straight into hot surge. Korean fans carried the moment to Twitter, comparing them to iconic slow burn couples from Crash Landing on You, Hidden Love, and Our Beloved Summer. International fans clipped the video, adding captions like, "This is how real love sounds. Not acting, not PR, just feelings. And Bai Jingting, your move now." But what makes this entire confession so emotionally charged isn't just her words. It's everything that came before them. The tension between Zhang Ruonan and Bai Jingting isn't new. It's been building for months, so quietly, so naturally, that by the time fans took notice, it already had roots. During filming, his eyes always lingered a beat too long when she talked. She often drifted closer to him in crowded press photos. There were backstage clips where he'd lower his voice when speaking only to her, and she'd unconsciously lean in, smiling like he was a comfort she didn't know she needed. None of it was dramatic. None of it was scripted. It was the kind of chemistry that doesn't perform. It simply exists. So when she finally said she felt safe around him, it connected all the dots fans had been collecting like puzzle pieces that were finally snapping into place. And yet, that wasn't the end. Because the moment the interviewer teased her safe, "That sounds like a special feeling," the entire room froze. Everyone expected her to laugh it off, to deflect, to hide behind a usual line, "We're just close friends." But she didn't. Instead, she whispered something so soft yet so seismic that even the audio barely caught it. "Maybe it is special." Those 5 words. 5 words that shifted the atmosphere of the entire industry for a moment. What's even more fascinating is Bai Jingting's reaction. He wasn't there during the interview, but fans dug up his earlier comments from separate promotions, and people are now stitching the two together like a love story unfolding in reverse. Bai Jingting once said, "She's someone you naturally want to take care of." At the time, it sounded like polite co-star language. Now it sounds like foreshadowing. Ever since Zhang Ruonan's confession went viral, fans noticed Bai Jingting has been unusually quiet on social media, not denying anything, not clarifying, not distancing himself. And in the entertainment world, silence isn't absence. Silence is strategy. Silence is acknowledgement. Silence is sometimes the loudest answer. What makes this dynamic even more poetic is how their personalities complement each other. Bai Jingting is known for his calm, grounded presence, steady, thoughtful, the kind of man who listens first and speaks later. Zhang Ruonan, on the other hand, is warm, expressive, and deeply intuitive, wearing her emotions with a softness that feels honest rather than exposed. When you place two energies like that together, you get something that feels cinematic even without the cameras rolling. Fans from China, Korea, Indonesia, Thailand, and the US have been discussing how rare it is for a female actress to voice something so vulnerable first. Usually, male actors lead the emotional narrative in public, while women remain protected behind agency-approved statements. Zhang Ruonan flipped that script, choosing honesty over strategy, warmth over caution. And that is why the moment feels historic in its own small, tender way. People aren't reacting because it's a scandal. People are reacting because it feels like watching a soft confession in a youth romance drama, except this time, it's real. Some fans compared the moment to Suzy admitting she felt drawn to Lee Min-ho years ago. Others said it reminded them of the early days of Hyunbin and Son Ye-jin, when their eyes said everything long before their agencies confirmed anything. What Zhang Ruonan did was give fans permission to dream again, permission to believe that the connections they sense between actors aren't always illusions created by scripts and camera angles. Sometimes, the heart genuinely leans. And maybe the biggest reason fans are screaming is because her tone didn't sound like a crush. It sounded like comfort, like familiarity, like the kind of affection that grows slowly, quietly, until one day you realize it's not just acting anymore. As the video continues to circulate, fans are waiting breathlessly for Bai Jingting's response. Will he address it? Will he pretend he never heard it? Or will he match her vulnerability with a confession of his own? For now, all we can do is watch the story unfold in real time, messy, beautiful, unpredictable, and very, very human. But regardless of what happens next, this moment belongs to Zhang Ruonan. To her courage, to her sincerity, to her choosing to speak with her heart instead of her training. And in an industry built on illusion, honesty shines brighter than any spotlight. Before you go, if you want to stay here from the first whisper to the final reveal, from the slow burn speculation to the heart-stopping confirmations, make sure you're part of our family. Subscribe to New Drama World, turn on notifications, and stay with us. Because if this is just the beginning, the real story hasn't even